as everybody's climbing on, I want y'all to do me a favor. I put in the chat a link to the business plan. So I want you to click that link, download the business plan that I put there. Go ahead and start it. If you are driving, and I'm going to repeat this message too, but I'm going to give everybody a head start that's on. So you don't see the link, by the way, everyone? It says, let me see. Do you see it now? That's weird. I guess I got to keep posting it so nobody sees it unless they already been there. Okay. So click that link and you're going to download this business plan. It is a 7-page business plan. We're going to do some work today, folks. Y'all want to do some work? Hey, by the way, unmute yourself. I want to talk to y'all, see y'all. Y'all talk back to me before we get started here. How's that?
Good morning.
Who we got there?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Let's go, family. We're going to do some work today on today's Power Coaching. So here's what I want you to do. Hi, Jennifer. It's good seeing you. I want y'all to download the business plan. The link is right here. Again, it's a 7-page business plan that we're going to go through today. So if you would, just take it, download it, and print it off. If you're driving, I see some of you are driving, then go ahead and I'd like for you to take notes. I am recording this, so like if you want to go back through this later, you can. We're going to do work today, in the sense of putting the pen to the paper, coming up with a business plan for 2022. And as everybody's coming on, I will get more into it, but I want to make sure. Let's see, who do we got here? Let me make sure my team. We have. Where you at? What's up, Judd? Good seeing you, buddy. What's up, Tad? I owe you a conversation, buddy. We need to talk. All right, let's see. What's up, Jacob? Good seeing y'all. All right, so if you're just joining us, do me a favor. I'm putting the link in again. In the link, in the chat, you'll find a link to a 7-page business plan. Download this thing and print it off, would you? What do I owe you, Adrian? Tell me what I owe you. Please help me.
Remember what we talked about at the casino with Tyler Royke?
Yes. What did I say? What do I owe you?
The live call of you prospecting.
Oh, the live call?
Yes, sir.
Like the live prospecting calls?
Yep.
Will you message me again on that and I'll get it to you?
Definitely will. I'll message you on Instagram.
Thanks, brother. Thank you for that.
Of course, thank you.
I like you too. You owe me something too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, come on. You got to get it, you know? Like, I want to make sure that I give everybody what I promised. All right, so here's what we're doing, everybody. I'm just letting everybody in as y'all are coming on. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to download the business plan. I'm putting it in the chat several times there. This is a 7-page business plan. We're going to take you through step by step on reverse engineering what it is you're going to do in 2022. Figure out what we got to do to get it and how we're going to achieve it. So this business plan is a plan that I've used for years and years, not only for myself, but helping many agents through. It's one of the easiest, I call it big and easy ways to reverse engineer what it is that we got to do to achieve our goals in the next year. I'm going to keep it real estate specific because I know you get a lot of attraction training already in this company. And so for me, my goal today is to help you sell more homes. And this will as well will be a way that you can take and train your people. So like, think about what I'm giving you today and think about how you can go through and do this training for your organization. Like Tyler, like you, buddy, like this is something that that you can use for your whole organization as well, because we're in the business of helping people achieve freedom. And I believe that the real estate side is, honestly, as we all know, it's the bread and butter of our business. So we are in the real estate business. We sell houses. And so we can't forget that. I know agent attraction is so important, but but training as we attract is what separates us from everybody else. Y'all agree? I mean, sell some houses. Let's figure out what we got to do to go sell these houses. And let's put the pen to the paper to make this thing easy. So here's what I want you to do as I'm admitting everybody. I'm trying to find my team. Do I got somebody here that can help me with this? Give me 1 second. Let's see, Carolyn, let's see.
So I can help you if you want to make me a co-host.
Oh, I can. Thank you, brother. I'm like over here admitting everybody, trying to do it all. I'm going to make you a co-host. So if you would, Matthew, just put in there like, as people are coming on, just admit them if you would. And I'm going to and if you want to just keep posting this link in there too, you can. There we go. Let me know you got it. You good?
Good to go.
Look at this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Go here. I'm going to display some starter here. Boom. Can you all see this okay?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to eliminate all your distractions over the next hour. Then Matthew, if you would mute people too, that'd be awesome. So just if you would, if you have background noise, just mute. If you have questions throughout this, feel free to stop me. This is kind of like doing math in front of a room. So I'm always kind of like, I don't know, it's not the most exciting thing for me is doing all this math in front of everybody, but like this is one of the most important trainings that I ever do every year. I do this every year with my group. And I encourage them to do it not only every year, but every 6 months, every quarter, every month. This is a business plan that is living and breathing. We're going to leave here today with a plan of what you got to do in 2022. Because here's the thing, you don't have to be outcome oriented. You got to be action oriented. What actions will lead to the outcome that we desire? And that's what we're going to do today is we're going to come up with those actions. And so for me, like, I love this because so many people don't have a business plan. You know, they go through real estate and they don't know what they're doing. And if we start here, this will solve a lot of other problems. Like, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just got to have a few things figured out. And this plan will help you do that. So with that, and Matthew, do you have the chat there pulled up where you could continue to paste this link there for everybody coming in?
Yes, I do.
There you go. Thank you. Because it does disappear, I guess, when people are coming in late. So what I'm going to do is I want you to print this thing off. I want you to eliminate the distractions over the next hour. And my goal is to leave you better than I found you, like to all of you to have a living, breathing business plan that you now have, because this is the setting of the sails. This is the planting of the seeds of what it is that we want to accomplish. And that's what this business plan is. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop, but we're going to get started. So get your pen, your paper, and your business plan. If you're like, don't have a printer and you're driving, maybe you could pull over. You can write these things out, but like all of you are going to go back and work on this. What I'm going to give you today is going to be 87%. So I'm going to challenge you. We don't have to be 100% today. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you don't know how many homes you sold last year or how many listings you took last year and how many of those listings sold, you don't know how many buyers, or you don't know what your average commission is, like that's okay. You should know it 87% close enough. And I want to give you permission to operate in the 87% versus the 100%. The 87% is where the action is done. The time and effort and energy spent in that extra 13% is not worth the energy and the effort that you put into perfecting something that is living and breathing. So like, give yourself permission for it to not be perfect today. Give yourself permission to not have to know all the answers, because that will breed what? Inaction. You know, and inaction is the enemy. Inaction is what we want to avoid. We want to always operate in action. And action lies in the bed of 87%. Y'all with me? So what does 87% mean? Doesn't have to be perfect, Haas, just close enough. And you can always take this plan, and when you take it, you're always going to be able to revisit it. This is a plan that doesn't change every year. It's the same year after year. So with that, let's get started. We do have a lot to cover. So I want you to first stake your claim. Boom, this is what I'm doing this year. And this is the purpose of this plan. The purpose of this plan is to provide a specific and clear guideline of set goals for the next 12 months. This plan is a 1-year, month-to-month plan designed to achieve my personal annual financial goal, which is your gross income to you of blank. What I want you to do there is I want you to put in a number. What is your gross commission goal for 2022? I want you to put it in there. What's the first number that comes to mind of what you want your GCI to be in the next year? And I want you to write down what that number is and put it in there. If you haven't thought about it, you already know the answer. The number already came to you when I asked you, what do you want to do in 2022? So don't get caught up in well, what about the net? Or what about the gross? Or just go 87%. Write the number down on what you want your GCI to be. Because the plan is specific to the amount of business generating activities and the types of these activities I will need to accomplish each week, each month, and each quarter of the year. I'm committed to monitoring my business generation activities each 30 days. It's every 30 days in order to make sure that I am on target. I'm willing to alter my activities and my plan if it is not working for me. I am committed to learning and practicing new skills and habits that will help me achieve my goals. This plan is designed to create growth for me, both financially and personally. And by signing this document, I am committing my efforts and energies towards the accomplishment of this plan. I want you to sign and date it. The date today is November 30th. We're going to be in the last month of this year here tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this now, because we want to go into December with a plan to go into the new year. We want to finish this year strong and hit 2022 with progress, with momentum. So I'm going to give you a minute, decide what that number is, and sign and date it. Does anybody want to share what number they put there?
200,000.
200,000. Love it. Keep going. Who else? Share.
150.
I put $1 million.
150 for me too.
Is that JC the icon at 1 million?
That is.
I love you, dude. I love you, man. We need to talk too, okay? Buddy, yeah, awesome. What else? I had a guy tell me one time, I always think of this number, this guy made $5 million a year. He was my mentor. And I said, what is it like to make 500,000 or 500 million, 5 million a year? And he goes, it's not that much different than making 250,000. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, at 250,000, you could pretty much afford anything. You could go on vacations where you want to go. You go out to eat. You could buy drinks. You could go out and eat at restaurants. You can drive a nice car. You can have a nice house. Oftentimes, you can send your kids to private school. 250,000 is where you want to be. He said, your lifestyle doesn't change much from going 250,000 to 5 million. And I always thought of that. And I always thought 250. Now, this was like 10 years ago. So what would 250 be today? Is it 350? I don't know. But there becomes a point, and this is my goal for all of you, to get to a point where your lifestyle, where you achieve your ultimate lifestyle. And if it takes 500,000 for that lifestyle, I mean, some would tell you you're spending too much money on a lifestyle. I ain't going to tell you that because that's up to you. But at some point, you can afford everything that you desire. And my goal is for all of you to get there, because that's where things are fun. That's where real estate's fun. That's where you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. What I don't like to do is, being at a place where you don't have that yet, and you're working your butt off doing the wrong things, and you're doing it, backwards. And I feel like knowing that number is a good place to start, because honestly, my lifestyle hasn't changed much after 300,000. I drive a truck that's paid off. It's a 2013 with 100,000 miles. I don't have a brand new car. I live in a fairly modest house, but it fits us all. And so the more money we make, the more difference we can make, the more we can do with investments, the more we can invest in ourselves, the more we can help other people. So my goal is to help you get there. If you're already there, celebrate it. Congratulations. If you're not there, then that's where we need to get, is to where your lifestyle number is really what it is. So put it there in the line and sign and date it. This is the first step of the business plan. This is where really things will come to fruition, because half this battle is knowing what it is that you want. Half the battle is the planting of the seeds. So many people go through life not knowing what they want. Congratulations, you know what you want in 2022. So here's what I want to take a step further, though. I want you to come up with some objectives. The objectives for the next year. The following are the major objectives that I want to accomplish during the next year. My gross commission income, my prospecting contacts, my number of listings taken, listings sold, the buyer sales, education, training, travel, purchases, health, personal. What are your top 4 objectives for 2022? Write them down. Type them out if you're typing it. I want to know what your top 4 objectives are. You can put your GCI there. You can say, I want to make 400,000 this year. I want to take 50 listings, whatever that is. I want to go to Hawaii. I want to buy a new car. I want to save $1 million. What are those top 4? And these are the most important things that come to mind. Who wants to share what they put here in the objectives for the next year?
I'll share one, Haas. I'd like to get my first investment property this year. That's one of them. And to take on more listings, of course. I'm on your academy here, so I know I'll get it done. I'm excited to invest.
Awesome, Carrie. It's great. Become a listing boss.
For the year.
Go ahead. What's up, JC?
I said 200 listings for the year.
I love it. You do that, you don't have to worry about no money. You know what I'm saying? That'll solve a lot of problems. What else? It doesn't have to all be about business. It can be, I just got back from Hawaii. That was on my list. I wanted to take my whole family to Hawaii. Spent 10 days there, right? It was, fun, something that you can look forward to. What else?
One of them I got written down is get out to an EXP event.
Man, that's good right there.
My plan
requires airplanes.
My plan is to get fit so that I can have mental clarity and be the best real estate agent possible.
Great. Let's figure out how to do it.
I would like to get my second investment property in 2022. Save $2 million after all is paid, minimum. Yep. I'll take my entire family not only to Hawaii but to several parts of the globe. That's for 2021.
You know what I love on traveling too, by the way, y'all, is having these things in front of you. So I would encourage you to pre-plan your vacations, your events throughout the year. Decide what vacations you want to take and plan it and set the dates. Buy the airline tickets. Do the first goal of the first one, because it gives you these milestones to work towards. As your head's down, as you're grinding, you're able to know that you're going on that retreat with your spouse, at the end of May. And so you're going to grind and you're going to work hard before that happens. You want to go to Cabo to the EXP mastermind. So let's say you're going there in August, you're going to go ahead and just sign up. You're going to set these dates throughout the year. And listen, I'm talking like what's coming to mind are like 4 things. I'm not talking about 40 things. I'm like, what are a couple milestones that we have that we can look forward to? And I would encourage you to do that, because look, we're all self-employed. We're all entrepreneurs. We're in the trenches grinding and doing money-making activities every day. Like, what is the reward at the end?
I'm trying to work towards scraping my childhood home for my parents and giving them a brand new home on the lot. They live in downtown Denver, and I know they want to get out, but it would break my heart to see the property go and not be ours. So my goal is to make enough money to scrape and put them somewhere else until I build them a new home.
That's awesome, Shelly. Great. That's great. I've never heard that. That's a good one. Scrape the old house, build a new one. I love it. All right. So now we got some objectives. We're going to keep trucking. Okay. Now we're going to go back and we're going to look at the last year. Now, if you don't know these numbers, as I said before, I want you to be 87%. Like it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be close. So in the last 12 months, I have accomplished the following numbers. I will use these numbers in realistically setting my goals for the next 12 months. What was in that step? I'll just read this. My GCI over the last 12 months was. So let's just take it and let's say in 2021 is where we're going to get these numbers. So what would your GCI be over the last 12 months? I want you to write it down. Your gross commission income. That's what GCI is, the old gross commission income. What is that number? And I want you to put it in number one. You may be writing that number going, man, I only have a month left to hit my goal. I'm way off. Hey, that's what this is all about. This is about creating awareness behind the desire that leads to the action. Number two, I worked an average of blank hours per week during the blank weeks that I worked this past year. So how many hours a week on average did you work? And just write it there, whatever comes to mind. Man, I work 40 hours a week, write it down. I work 30, I'll write it down. I work 80, write it down. And then how many weeks did you work in the last year? Did you, there's 52 weeks in a year. Did you take 2 weeks off? Did you work 50 weeks? Did you work 52 weeks? Write the number down in number two. And this is good. You know why this is good? As a coach, I always look at this number. Like if any of you put 80 hours, my first question is are these money-making activities? And I'm looking at the 80 hours and then I'm looking at number one. I'm saying, so you work 80 hours to make $6,000, right? What do we need to do with our time? Like this right here gives me as a coach a lot of answers. I don't believe anybody should be working 80 hours. I believe that doing the right things, as you're going to see, the money-making activities, the high leverage activities that will extract the maximum result. Time and effort have little to do with making money. So just because you put 100 hours there doesn't mean you make the most. I know in a world of, grinding and hustling, we all like to brag about how many hours we put there. Trust me. I mean, I could stack some hours there too, but these days I want as less of those hours in there as possible, extracting the maximum result. Because it's about where we invest our time to get that result. Number three, my average sales price was. Write down your average sales price with all the transactions you've done in 2021. Write it down. If you don't know what it is, again, get close. You can go back after today and reevaluate these and get more accurate numbers if you need to. But with my time and your time today, I'm going to at least get you through it because by God, we're going to have a business plan by the time we're done. Okay. It may not be perfect, but it's going to be close enough. Number four, I took blank listings. How many listings did you take in 2021? And you're going to write down how many listings you took and then how many of those listings sold in number five. And I'm going to give you a minute on number six here. I average blank hours per week of active lead generation. I want you to fill out these 6 questions right now. Everybody good? Some of you are still working on it. What we want to know is your average sales price. How many listings that you took, how many of those listings sold, and how many of those hours per week of active lead generation. You see, that's what I care about right there, that number 6. I don't care about how many hours you work per week. It's how many of those hours were active lead generation. In real estate, lead generation and lead conversion is the name of the game. True story, all right? It's all about having appointments and closing those appointments and turning those appointments into closings. And we can get caught up in all the getting ready to get ready stuff. But like, if you're not happy with the results, the answer usually lies in number 6. I find that if somebody is not investing the amount of hours per week in active lead generation, they're not really happy with the answer they gave in number 1. So your goal for 2022 may be, hey, I'm going to stop wasting my time on things that waste my time. And I'm going to start investing it in only the active lead generation stuff, the things that will extract a result. And that's what I hope to do, is to help coach you, train you, equip you, motivate you with everything you need to make the most out of those hours per week. So you'll get the results. Moving on. Number 7, out of all of the listings that you took, if I were to line up all your listings, what were the 3 most productive sources for those listings? And I want you to write them down. Like, did they come from referrals? Were they for sale by owners, expired listings? Were they from a neighborhood farm, circle calling? Was it a referral source? Where did all of your listings come from? And the reason we don't need 6 sources, because that's too many. What are the 3 that give us the results? And what this is going to hopefully you'll see is where your business comes from. You may put referrals there. And your most productive sources for listings this year were your referrals, your database, your sphere of influence. I'm going to tell you to double down on that in the next year. Let's do more to make that more. Let's do more to get more referrals. When we do invest, let's invest in those relationships. You may put for sale by owners, expired listings, let's say a niche like the Habit Mets. I'm going to say, let's do more to go after them. Let's do more calls, more text, more conversations, because what we're doing works. So we want to know what the top 3 sources for listings were. And then number 8, what are the 3 most productive sources for buyers? So if we were to line up all your buyers from 2021, the questions, where do they come from? Where do the sources come from? Zillow leads were number 1. I doubt that was the case but maybe it was. So you could put you would put them there. Where did all the sources come from? If you don't know, again, get close enough. Next, number 9 is my total number of units closed was. So how many units did you close in 2021? That's how many homes did you sell, buyers and sellers. And then number 10, and I'll give you a minute to catch up, my average commission per side was. So we want to know what our average commission per side was. If you don't know that, you can take your average sales price and do it that way. If it's 3%, you can do 3% of 250, for example. It will give you your average commission per side is a way to know. But otherwise, just put the number that comes to mind there. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this data to give us the data to plan the next year. And I'll pause here and give you a minute to catch up. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Good, because I got to catch up. Oh, we got one?
Sorry, Haas. This is
What's up,
Yasmin.
Yasmin? How are you?
Good. I have a question because as I think a lot of my business comes from repeat clients and just like past customers, and I'm wondering if there's a way to scale that. The only thing I'm thinking is just like get more customers. Might be.
Yeah, and expand your database.
Okay.
So we like with you, we need you to get in front of more people in more rooms. You need to go make more friends is what you need to do, Yasmin. Okay.
Okay.
Go meet more friends, because every room you show up in, you light it up. I already know you. I know your name because I feel your energy from, I don't know if have we talked before?
Not in person, but we've been interacting on social, and got your course, I read your book, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Like, you got good energy. Like, it doesn't surprise me that people like to refer you. So you just need to get in front of more people.
Okay.
And that's what will help you do. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Hey, Hawes.
Yes.
Hey, Ivan here.
What's up?
Hey,
Ivan?
man. Love your stuff as always. This is awesome. Question, sometimes I throw, it's like, what number GCI? I'm like 250, 500, 750, I think like that. But I also think in terms of hitting the cap and being a capping agent, and then maybe becoming an icon agent, putting those things out there. I mean, what do you think in terms of just, defining those goals and just, making sure we have that basic level of production covered?
I think it's an amazing goal, but you'd want to reverse engineer what that looks like. So what does that mean to cap? So let's just talk about it. Because I think most people here with EXP, how much volume do you have to do to cap?
3 million in sales, 2.7 million, depending on the split.
So round up, make it 3 million.
Yeah, 3 million in sales.
You're a capper. I love that, Ivan. So like you would do, think in terms of not just think in terms of 3 million, and so maybe it's more so in terms of capping, just because 3 million is how you cap.
Right. It might be 3 deals at $1 million if you're in a big city. It might be 7 deals at 350 or 400. So,
and that's volume, by the way, y'all. So it's not commission. So when he says 3 million, that's in volume. That's all of you have it in you to do 3 million in volume. Every one of you has it in you to be a capper with this company. That's why I'm doing this, because it's to help you become a capper. It's to turn off the noise and to get focused on the things that you can do to drive your result. And and what gets practiced in private gets rewarded in public. Like that with this stuff, it's this is the stuff that, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where the commissions come from. This is where this is what we as an industry do. So like whatever it is, Ivan, I think hitting 3 million, is that your goal, to do 3 million in GCI or volume?
Yeah. I need that as my basic goal. I need to hit that, and I want to break it down, make it easy to hit that. Anything over that. This is going to make
it really easy today. You're going to be like, okay, well, after today, y'all are going to be like, I want to do 6 million, not 3. Like hopefully right. It leaves you to want to do more, but let's say 3 million, at let's say 3% of 3 million is 90,000. So like 90,000 GCI is about 3 million in volume.
Right.
I would round that up. I want to make, I'm never going to put 90,000 on a goal. It's going to 100,000. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right.
Yeah.
I want to hit that cap, because then I go to 100, and now I'm super motivated.
That's it. That's right. And then why stop there? That's where it gets fun. All right, let's keep trucking, y'all, because now we're going to do some reverse engineering. Now we have data that we can work from. So what I want to do is now we're going to shift into financial and production goals. And I'm going to go through this kind of quick, not super fast, but just because of time. I only have 30 minutes to do this. So your financial and production goals, and number one, whatever you put on page 1 of this plan, you're going to put there. Your GCI goal, and you would write for the year there. I left it blank for you. You would write the year. And what is the GCI goal for you? So, and I'm going to give an example. Your numbers will probably be different than mine. I just keep easy math just because it's, I'm trying to take all of you through this. So in my example, I'm going to do 250,000 as my GCI goal. But whatever yours is, then I want you to put it there. Okay. So put down your GCI goal for the year in line number 1. You're going to put your average commission per side, what it will be in line 2. So what is your average commission per side? How do I get that? Well, it's 3% typically on average. Like what I'll do is I'll do the 250,000 times 0.03. That's like 7,500. It's a little less. So like 7,350 is the average commission in this example, but you want to put that for you. So this will tell us how many units we need to do to make 250. So if for me to make 250, for you to make whatever it is in line number 1, you're going to divide line number 1 by line number 2. So I'm going to take 250,000. I'm going to divide that. By the way, I didn't tell you, you probably need a calculator. At least I do. I'm not that good at math, but like 250 divided by 7,350 in my example is 34.01 in a bunch of numbers. I'm going to round it to 34 units. So 34 units is what I have to do in 2022 in order to make 250,000 GCI. Give you a minute to get yours. Has everybody got theirs? I hope I'm not losing anybody. If I am, don't overthink this, okay? If I can do it, you can do it. My education ended my sophomore year of high school, folks. If I can do this, y'all can do it, learning this stuff in the streets. All right. So here's what we got to do now. Now, this is where we may need to think a little bit. What type of business do you want? Do you want to do 34 buyers? You can do that. If you want to just work buyers, you can do 34 listings. I find a healthy formula, a healthy business is, in my example, I'm going to say 60-40. I want 60% listings, 40% buyers. So, because I believe, if you have listings, every listing generates 2.7 buyers on average. So like if we're focused on listings, then we're going to have buyers. I know for me in my business, I've never worked a buyer in my life. I've only listed homes. That's why they call me the listing boss, was because I only listed homes. I would sit on the phone all day for 3 hours a day, calling FSBOs, expires, my database from 9 to noon. I never missed a day, and I would set listing appointments. And my goal would be to set one listing appointment, to take one listing a day. So that was my job. When a buyer lead came in, I referred it to a buyer's agent. The buyer's agent would go work the buyers. I would focus on listings because that's the driving force for the business, was the listings. As long as we have signs in the ground, we have leads being generated. That allows you the freedom to not have to buy leads. It allows you the freedom to not, rely on somebody else to generate leads for you. So I encourage everybody to focus on listings, because listings are going to provide you with the most freedom. And when you start sprinkling, listing-based business with some agent attraction revenue share money coming in every month, there's ultimate freedom in this model. And I know for me, that's why I'm all in on this deal, because like the listings and EXP is a recipe for freedom. Y'all with me on that? Especially if you're helping agents like this. If you're sitting down with people, if you're sitting down with people and you're going through and you're helping them do the same. Like all of you should sit down with your entire organization and take this business plan and go through that with them. Like don't even let me do it. Like you do it. You invite them to breakfast some morning this week and say, hey, we're going to plan out the year. And this is what you take. You take this, sit down with, and think about this, sit down with people that aren't in your EXP organization, and sit down with other peers in your market and say, hey, I want to help you in the next year. I want to help you with a business plan. Do you have an hour next week? We can sit down. And you sit down with that RE/MAX agent and you go through this with them. You think that would help you attract agents, by the way, to your team? You know why it will? Because you're bringing value first. And anytime you're bringing value first, it will always help you attract the agents. Everybody I've ever brought in, I brought value to first. So this is a great way to do that. So what I'm going to do in this, I'm going to do a 60-40 model. Yours may be 70-30. It may be 50-50. I don't know. Everybody's may be different. But I want you just to decide for this plan. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 34, knowing that I'm going to just take 34 units. And I want 60% of those to come from listings. So I'm going to take 34 times 0.6, and that gives me 20.4. So I'm going to round to 20. So that's just quick math. If you want, I want 40% buyers. So I'm going to say 34 times 0.4. That's 13.6. I round that up to 14. 20 plus 14 is 34. Y'all with me on this math? Okay. Some of you guys are already gone. You're like, I'm done. I'm planning is like, I get it. Look, this takes some work. It takes some math. But what happens is when you have these numbers and these metrics, it creates the awareness that you need to be able to make these things happen. So skipping to number 5, here we go. I'm not skipping, I guess jumping to here. Projecting that 70% of my listings will sell. The number of listings I need to take in 2022 will be. So not only do we want to know how many listings we need to sell, we also know that not every listing we take will sell. So the question is what is a good percentage of the percentage of listings that sell? So in this example, I put 70%. In this market, it's going to be higher. It's almost 100%, but I never put 100% because that's naive in a plan. I'm going to put 70 in my example. Yours may be 80 or 90%. You could do this by looking at what we did previously on looking at what that number is today. How many listings did we take and how many did we sell? It gives you that list to sales ratio. So for this, I'm going to say 70%. I'm looking for how many listings I need to take in order to sell 20. So I'm going to use 70%. So I'm going to take 70%. So I'm going to divide divide 20 by 0.7, and that's 28.57. So I'll give you a minute. You're going to take that number, the number that you have in line 4A, which is the amount of listings sold. You're going to divide that by the percentage you put in line 5. So if you put 70%, you would just hit 20 divided by 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, whatever you put there. And that gives me, in my example, 29 listings taken. So that tells me that I need to take 29 listings to sell 20. Does everybody have that number? I can't see everybody, but just, you could give me some thumbs up, give me some yes, unmute your mic.
Got it.
You don't hear our heads rattling? Yes.
I don't hear heads rattling. I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I'm like, how are we doing? Is everybody following me?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Is this helping you?
Tremendously.
Immensely. Yes.
Isn't it funny how simple it is too, y'all? Like, this is simple stuff. Like, why, I'm with you. It's like, I mean, nobody ever does this. So imagine, I'll just say this again. Imagine the value you can bring to an agent by sitting down with them and doing this with them. They've never done it either. So with that, line number, let me keep going here. Line number 16 or 6, sorry. Considering that 15% is what I'm going to put there of my buyer contracts will cancel, I need to write a total number of. So what I'm looking for, now this is a little tricky. I'm putting in 15%. Not everybody's going to cancel type thing, but like some will. So I'm going to say, I'm going to take that line in 4B, which is 14. And in my example, yours will be different. And I'm going to divide that by 100% minus the percentage of 6. So 100% minus 15% is 85. So if I take 14 divided by 0.85, that gives me 16 buyer contracts. I'm going to give you a minute. So you're going to take 100% minus the percentage you put in line 6, whatever that is. This is the amount of buyer contracts that cancel on you. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to divide it by the percentage that I have in line number 6. Does everybody have that? Tad, do you have that, buddy? I see you looking studious with your glasses, dude. I mean, look at you, man. You look like you need to be teaching this stuff. Tad, man, always brings a smile to my face, dude. Love your energy, brother. All right, so we need 16 buyer contracts to sell 14 buyers. I'll give you a second to catch up on that. Any questions so far, y'all?
Actually, Haas, can you go over that breakdown on how to get the number 6 line?
Yeah, so we want to know the percentage of buyer contracts that cancel. So let's say 15% cancel. I think that's a little high, honestly. But like when I do this stuff, I like to make things a little bit higher, just so it gives me more realistic, gives me a little buffer zone. So I put 15% there. And then let me back up here. Cancel. I need to write a total number of, we're looking for how many buyer contracts we need to write. So you're going to take line 4B and you're going to divide it by 100% minus, what did you put in line number 6? What percentage?
I just put 15% to be a little more realistic.
All right. And then what do you have in 4B?
4B, I have 27.
All right. So put 27 divided by 0.85. What does that give you?
Okay, so it's about 31.7. So might as well just round up.
You round up, so it's 32.
Okay.
So you need 32 buyer contracts to hit that number in line 4B.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. All right. You guys good? We're going to keep trucking. All right, now this is good right here. So now we're gonna shift over to the listing side because we need to know how many appointments we have to go on, right? So since I plan to get listings on blank percentage of the listing of my listing appointments, I need to go on the following number of listing appointments. So what is a percentage, by the way, of the that's realistic on your, the amount of listing appointments that you convert? Like what percentage, and just shout it out now, everybody, what percentage of the listing appointments do you go on, do you convert?
About 80%.
80, put it there. Keep trucking. Who else? What else? Keep saying, what do y'all got?
80%.
80?
75.
75? By the way, some of you folks that are new, you don't have data to work from, but you can do this right here, right? So like, don't let being new affect anything at all. Set a good goal, then this is what you got to do to go achieve that goal, right? So like, don't get all caught up in being new, or I've only been in real estate 6 months. Like none of that matters. This pertains to everybody. So why did I put 60%? I mean, honestly, because I believe this, that you want that number to be as high as possible. If your number is 100%, I'm going to tell you as your coach that you're not going on enough listing appointments, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're closing everybody you go on, then go on more, because like you're going to find that some of them, maybe it wasn't a qualified appointment. Let's say you're going on so many appointments that, it's 60% because it's your approach to it. I don't know, but I want this number to be something that you work on in the next year. I want you to be in a place that if you want the listing, you will get it. Because in that 40%, maybe listings that I walk away from because it's not a fit. So I may say, you know what, like I go on a lot of listing appointments at 60% because I turn her down 40%, or every number is going to be different. I think 60% is low. I think 50% is low. I think if you're at 50%, you need to do more on conversion. You need to look at listing appointment conversion. And that's always something that needs to be looked at. It's always something that needs to be improved upon as well. That being able to convert listing appointments is an art, and it's one that, it's always an art. It's a moving target, and it's something that changes and shifts with every shifting market. So what is that number? Here's what you're going to do. Once you know what that percentage, the listing appointments you go on, you're going to get, you're going to take that line number 5, which is in my example, 29 listings. And I'm going to divide that by 60%, which is my percentage. And when I do that, it gives me 48 listing appointments. And I want to know what your number is. So you're going to take what you have in number 5, that number, and you're going to divide it by the percentage you put in line number 7.
I got 42 here.
There you go. I like it. Who else? Who else wants to share? Not everybody at once, y'all. Calm down. Settle down. All right. 48 listing appointments is this example. Has everybody got it? Give me a thumbs up. All right, here we go. By the way, this is good. Now I know how many appointments I have to set. You know why I like this? Because this is my job. My job is to get 48 appointments. My job's not to sell 48 homes. It's to set 48 appointments. I'm going to let the rest of the math work itself out. Now I know what I can control is 48 listing appointments. What I don't control is 20 listings sold. I don't know where those 20 are going to come from. I don't know which one or who. It's not my job to figure out. But I already know that 60% of these, I'm going to get 60% of the appointments. That means I'm going to take 29 listings. And when I take 29 listings, I'm going to sell 70% of them, and 20 are going to sell. So you see why we don't need to focus on the 20. We got to focus on the 48. Let the chips fall where they may, so to speak. Eliminating your distractions on the things that you don't control and focusing your attention on the things you do control. What you do control is the amount of appointments you set. You can't blame me for not setting enough listing appointments. You can't blame your client. You got to blame yourself. So we got to know what that number is, and this does that. Moving on to number 8. Since I sell a home to 85% of that's what I have here, buyers I work with, I will need to work with the following number of new buyers. So I'm going to take number 6, what I have in number 6, divide that by the percentage you put in number 8. That gives you the amount of buyers that you need to work with. So in this example, 19 new buyers to write 16 buyer contracts to sell 14 homes. And what is that number? So, and again, this is an 87%. Some of you may have even put 87% there. That's fine. But when you sell a home to a percentage of the buyers you work with, what is that? I mean, I find 85% is a good, healthy number. Some of y'all, you guys are rock stars. You may be higher. But now we have data. Now we know what we got to do. That we got to go set 48 listing appointments and we got to get 19 new buyers in the following year to hit our goal of 250,000 GCI. I'll give you a minute and I'm going to move on to the actions. Number 9. Here's what I'm going to do. I want you to do this right now. Take your listing appointments and you're going to divide the where are we at? 48. So 48, I'm going to divide that by 52 weeks. 48, is that right? Let me see. 48 divided by 52. That's 0.9. I'm going to round that up to 1 per week. And I'm going to take that times 4 because that's per month. So I need to set 4 listing appointments every month, which is 1 a week, in order to set 48 listing appointments. I'm not going to worry about 48 listing appointments. I'm going to worry about that 1 per week. So when Friday rolls around, I'm going to say, did I set a listing appointment this week? See how it takes a complicated thing and simplifies it? Do y'all see this? That's what you got to figure out, is you don't have to worry about any of this other than what I just put. 1 per week is all you got to focus on. Don't worry about the rest of this stuff above it. The rest of the stuff above it is going to happen. We already know that. We already put that stuff out there. So once we know how many appointments we can set per week, now it gives us an action to work towards. I want you to do the same on buyers. So in this example, I just would do 19 buyers. And if I take 19 divided by 52, that's, let me tell you, 52, let's see, 19 divided by 52 weeks. That's 0.36. So I'm going to round up to half a buyer per week. And that means 2 per month. So I need like 2 per month. I need to find 2 new buyers a month in order to hit my numbers and my buyer goals. And then I'm going to add these up. So that means I need 6 appointments, which is per month, and 1.5 per week. We did all this work to know what those answers are in number 9. I'll give you guys a minute to do this. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, can you review number 9 again?
Yeah, you're going to take, so there's 52 weeks in a year, right? So, or maybe you're not going to work 52, maybe you work 50, right? So like you would, whatever it is that you're going to work in the next year, you would divide that by the amount of appointments you need to set. I'm trying to find how many appointments we need per month and per week. So in my example of 48 listing appointments, I'm going to divide that by 52. That comes out to 1 per week. And 1 per week is 4 per month.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep.
And so, Hoss, I don't know if you're going to get into lead gen, but did you say that you were doing this just doing cold calls or calling your sphere and using the phone?
I took a listing a day from FSBOs and expireds with people, and I don't use the word cold calling because I think it's a negative connotation. I think when people say cold calling, it's like, oh my God, cold calling. Like, look, we're warm callers. You know what I'm saying? I don't call cold people. I call warm people. You know, to me, a for sale by owner is warm. An expired listing is warm. A cold call is calling some random person that I don't even know, and I'm just going through the phone book, right? Like I don't ever tell people to cold call. What I do is, and I will help you with this, but it's finding niches. There's riches and niches. So like if I'm wanting a listing-based business, then I'm going to encourage you to go after the niches that have listings. Like 100% of the for sale by owner niche wants to sell. 100% of the expired listing niche wanted to sell at one time. So like, I like niches like that because then it's just a matter of me convincing them that I can get the job done. You know, I don't have to spend the marketing dollars to get the people to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in selling. I like finding the people that already are wanting to sell. That's me. I find that's a great place to start for all of you. Some of you have databases that are gold and you're doing nothing with. So like, I didn't have that luxury when I moved to Texas and I was brand new. I didn't know anybody. So I had to call people that didn't know me. And I got real good at it. You know, to the point I was 22 years old, taking a listing a day, just sitting on the phone, man, just having conversations. Here's what it is. It's having conversations. How do you have conversations? I mean, in today's world, you could do this through texting. You could do it through messaging. You could do it through the phone. I prefer the phone and I prefer face-to-face because I can reach way more people through both of those ways than any other way. So let's dig into this, by the way. Let's look at this as we wrap up. I only got like 6 minutes and we're up on our hour, and I respect your time, but I knew I was going to take up most of this. So like, here's what I want you to do. And you may not know this answer now, but you should at least get it close enough. This is what you're going to do to generate those appointments. These are your high leverage activities. These are the actions that matter, y'all. Like, these are the things that where the rubber hits the road. Like, these are the things that you have to do. I can't do them for you. I can tell you what to say on these outbound calls, but like, you got to be dialing them. You got to be calling them. You got to be sending them. You got to be messaging them. You got to be shaking the hands. You got to be in front of them. So I know that business generation, prospecting, and lead management is the #1 most important activities in building production, income, and long-term business success. Therefore, the final part of my business plan is focus on and commit to the prospecting I'm going to do in 2022. While I cannot always control the results, I know I can manage my time and activities. And the more I spend marketing my services, the more likely it is that I will achieve my goals. So therefore, I commit. And by the word, that word says commit to the following business generation action plan. I put these on there because these are my favorites. You already know what yours are. Maybe if you don't, then follow mine. But I want to see 3 hours every day of this on everybody's business plan. No matter what it is, 3 hours minimum every day of money-making activities. Nothing in real estate happens till noon anyway. You're a maker in the morning and a manager in the afternoon. Turn down the noise from 9 to noon and invest your time and commit to the time from 9 to noon in setting appointments. And if you do that, I promise you, you'll be able to put in all the work and apply all the training that you're getting, and you'll be able to get results. Because I find that agents that aren't habitual and militant in their 9 to noon hours will always struggle unless they are blessed with a database that blesses them. Not everybody's like that. You know, I have people like Lisa Copeland, for example. I don't know if she's here. She's been in business a year. Like, I don't know what she's going to do. I think she became an icon agent this year in her first year. She hasn't made a single prospecting call. You know why? Because she has a database that's just gold. Like, I didn't have that. A lot of you don't have that. And nor do we need that to get results. We're going to go build that. And so it starts with reaching the haven't met market, people who don't know you, and having more conversations. So whatever that looks like for you, I want you to commit to the money-making activities. Identify how many hours per week that is and per month. So here's the example. Outbound calls, I'm going to do this for 3 hours a day for 5 days a week, every week, because that's what I've always done. It's what I've always succeeded. That's 60 hours a month. Really, honestly, that's the only type of hours that I look at as work. You know, real estate's easy. It's finding the buyers and sellers that's hard. I'll say that one more time, y'all, so you can let it marinate. Real estate is easy. It's finding the buyers and sellers that's hard. Finding the buyers and sellers is what it's all about. So networking. Somebody said, who was that earlier? Was like, you need to do more networking. Why? Because everybody loves you. You know, we need to get you in front of more people. So what are you going to commit to per week, per month? Knocking doors. Man, I know a lot of people that do that with success. I've knocked hundreds of thousands of doors in my career. You never know where that yes is going to come from, but man, you do enough of it, it does come from somewhere, and it is a numbers game. And here's the thing for me, y'all. I am not this is just me as your coach talking. I am not above anything. So I am not above a cold call, and I am not above knocking a door, nor have I ever been, nor I ever will be. And I find that relationship that you have to the lead generating activities is paramount to your success. What type of relationship, mentally and physically, do you have with these things that you're putting on here? Like when I think outbound calls, here's the relationship I have. That's my jam. That's where I'm at. Like, that's what I do. That's what gets results. I'm one call away. I have it, and I know I'm going to do it. Most won't. Like, I know that that's my edge. I know that that's where I shine on those calls. So like, for me, I love it. That's what, if I'm willing to do that 60 hours a month, then I have nothing to worry about. So what is the relation? Maybe it's like, man, I hate doing that. That's awful. I will never do that. Then don't put it on there. But you need to find the thing that you love. You don't need to love it. Okay. Like, you just got to be willing to commit to doing it and being able to grow in it. Even though you may feel like you're not very good at it now, in 2 weeks of doing it, you'll be surprised at how good you actually are, because there's only so many objections you're going to hear. There's only so many things that every conversation tends to be pretty similar. We just got to go have more of these similar conversations. Otherwise, we get into a place we don't have the skills. And the place you don't want to be is a place in real estate where you don't have the skills because you didn't invest the time. And that's what I hope to do, is the value to bring to all of you is to not let you not be a skillionaire. I want all of you to be skillionaires, all of you being willing to put in the work because you're following the right model. And then with that, here's your action steps. Complete the business plan. Go back, spend some time this month in reevaluating it. Like, I hope this kind of shook it all out of you. It got it all out of you. It rattled you up. It got you to a place where you're like, oh crap, maybe I need to refocus, right? I know what to do. Or I'm not so sure on this percentage. And that's where I want you. I want you to be in a place that you got to kind of start putting the pieces of the puzzle together more accurately, but not too accurate, to give you enough inspiration to take massive action. The goal is to put this thing up and review it at least every quarter. So make and review, is the data right? Is our conversion rates higher now than what it was when we came up with it? This thing is a living, breathing thing. It's always going to change. It's always going to be something that you can reevaluate, go back. That's the beauty of it. And this thing never changes. This math, the numbers you put in there change, but like the formulas don't. Adjust when needed and follow the plan. So with that, y'all, I appreciate you. I hope that this helps you. Do me a favor. If you have not yet downloaded the link, we'll put that link in there one more time. Matthew, you want to do that for me, sir? Let me find the chat. There it is right there. Thank you, Matthew. So do this, take this, print it, also share it with your organization, because your organization has not done this yet either. And this is going to be useful to not only your current organization, but helping you build out attract agents and helping you bring value to them. This would be one of the first things I do to people to help them, because I guarantee y'all that people, they don't have this. They don't know these numbers, and you can help them come up with it. So I know I'm up on an hour. I threw a lot at you today. I hope y'all, I didn't overwhelm you. I hope, your brains are still intact, because I know it's a lot of math, but the good news is we're done. What I want you to do is print this thing, go back, reevaluate it, and let's hit it. Let's make 2022 the best year ever. Thank y'all for having me, and I'll see y'all next week.
Thank you so much, House. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All the best.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you, House.